Welcome to the Montgomery County Department of Permitting Services podcast. I'm Gail Lucas, your host. I'm also the chief of the Customer Support and Outreach Division here at DPS. We've added something new to our podcast. We are now doing it in video. You'll be able to listen to us wherever you hear podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. You'll also be able to watch us by clicking on the link on our DPS website. I am here today with Mariella Dallas, who is one of our DPS plan reviewers in the residential division, one of our stellar DPS plan reviewers in the residential division. And we're going to talk today, Mariella, about the Design for Life program. The Design for Life program is a program that was instituted a few years ago to provide property tax credits to homeowners who put in accessibility features or who redesign their homes so that they are more accessible for folks that have mobility issues. So we're going to talk about how folks access that program, what they need to provide to us, and how they can get their tax credit. So welcome, Mariella. How are you doing today?
Oh, great to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm doing well, and it's a very exciting opportunity. This program is incredible, and I will be very happy to talk about it.
All right. You see a lot of these submissions. Design for Life requires folks who are doing actual work to their home to submit a permit to us. But there are also features that folks may install that don't require a permit, but we still need to get that information.
Yes.
Give us a little bit of information about the program and how it works.
Well, the program is designed so residents could make their homes more accessible. There are several levels of accessibility that can be provided, but for the majority of alterations or additions, you will require a building permit.
Okay. The most important part of the program is that it provides a property tax credit to homeowners. Mm-hmm. That means you get a little bit of a break on your property tax credits depending on what level of accessibility you put into your home.
Correct. Yes.
One of the things that folks don't know, and sometimes it's a little confusing, is that there are 3 levels to Design for Life.
Yes.
Starting with, I don't want to call it the lowest level, but starting with the first level is accessibility features.
Yes.
If you're only doing grab bars, if you're only doing no-step entrance, what other kinds of things do people do that are just those accessibility features?
Yeah, some of the features that we see often are installation of an elevator, a non-step entrance, a ramp that allows for a non-step entrance into the dwelling, widening of doors, making the bathrooms or kitchen accessible.
So you can do one or several of those features.
Correct.
At that first level.
Yes.
The next level for Design for Life is level 1, or what we call visitability. What is visitability? That's a big word. It's a hard word.
Yeah,
what does that mean for our homeowners?
Visitability means that a person that requires a wheelchair or a device, accessibility device, will be able to enter the home and use the areas such as the living space, a bathroom. So for that, you will require the non-step entrance or ramp with a non-step entrance, an accessible powder room, and access to the visiting space, which is a living room or space in which you can visit the dwelling.
So that's level 2. Level 1.
That's level 1, yes.
Visitability.
Yes.
Level 2 is what we call livability.
Correct.
And describe a little bit what livability means.
Livability will allow the residents, will allow the home to be accessible. In addition to what is required for the visitability level, which is the non-step entrance, the 32-inch clear door, and the access to the living room or visiting space, we will require to incorporate a full accessible bathroom that will have access to a sink, a shower, and the toilet. Also, the route from the non-step entrance to the bathroom should be a minimum of 32 inches clear. Also, there should be an accessible bedroom. The bedroom should be connected to the entrance through a path that is a minimum of 36 inches.
So we're talking about the whole house.
The whole house.
The whole house should be accessible to someone who uses a mobility device or has mobility issues.
Well, it is the whole house, or a bedroom, the bathroom, and the kitchen, and
Okay.
the living room.
Okay.
I think to achieve level 2, you just need to have a minimum of this, the bathroom, the kitchen, and the accessible route.
On the DPS website, we have quite a bit of information about Design for Life. We have a webpage that's dedicated to it and describes in more detail the accessibility levels, the different levels of the program. How do folks access that? We know that if you're doing your whole house, you're doing a renovation or you're building a whole house, which we have some in the county, we have communities where all of the houses are 100% accessible.
Yes.
And that's always the goal. But how does someone access that program? What do they need to do?
When they start their application for addition, it could be an addition, an alteration, or even a new home, they should check the option for Design for Life. In addition, their drawings should clearly indicate what they're applying for. So I would like, as reviewers, we would like to see the description of your work, including design features, on the cover sheet. Then you come to the drawings. The drawings should be clearly drawn and indicating what the design accessibility features will be, with dimensions and including notes and anything that can make our review process more seamless.
Okay, that sometimes is daunting for folks.
Yes.
When folks hear that, they're like, oh, with dimensions? What does dimensions mean? And all of these features. Is this something that an applicant can do themselves? Is it something that needs to be done by an architect or an engineer? Is it contractor? Tell us how folks can access this.
Well, I think it will depend on the scope. If you have a simple renovation in which you're just making your bathroom accessible or adding a non-step entrance, you could easily, if you can actually draw plans, or you could have somebody help you doing that. You might not need a design professional, but when it comes to larger projects, which will require an addition or structural modifications or much more complicated changes, I would recommend that the homeowners consult with a design professional.
So we're not looking for back of the napkin kind of drawings that I'm going to put something here, or I'm going to make it a modification there. We're looking for details of what folks are doing, and we're always looking for those details.
Yes, the plan should speak for themselves.
Okay.
We don't have the applicant with us to explain what's going on, so the plan should be drawn in a way that it communicates the intent, the scope of work, where are the features. So yes, it's not something that you can draw on a napkin or in a small piece of paper. It needs to be an actual drawing.
Okay. One of the things that folks complain to us about when they're trying to access the program is that they are not sure what they need to do at each step. Mm-hmm. As you know, DPS permits are required to be filed electronically.
Yes.
So on our Apply Online application, there is an area for Design for Life that folks need to pay attention to and completely fill out, correct?
Correct. They need to fill out the Design for Life part of the application in order for the Design for Life to be recognized in the permit and by plan reviewers.
Okay. So that alerts the plan reviewer that they need to look for accessibility features on folks' plans. There are also some jobs where you don't need a building permit, or you don't think you need a building permit. For instance, we get a lot of folks that are installing just grab bars in the bathroom, maybe.
No permit.
And that is not something that you necessarily need a building permit for.
No.
But in order to access the Design for Life program, they do need to file a building permit, yes?
I will say yes.
So even if you think it is a very small job, or if it's not something that you would normally need by code, let's say, a building permit, you still need to submit that building permit so that you can access the program.
I will say yes, because we need to identify the feature, and
Okay.
it needs to be presented on a drawing or a floor plan, or something that we can review and verify that they're actually providing what is required.
And it needs to be inspected, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we need a permit so that the inspector can access your home. The cost of, for folks listening, the cost of that building permit, if you're concerned about the cost of it, can be rolled into your costs that are reimbursable under the program, correct?
Yes.
So folks need to make sure that their plans are clear, that they've indicated at the beginning that they are doing Design for Life features. And then when you look at it, you're going to verify that those features are there. When the inspector looks at it, he or she is going to verify that those features are there and that they're installed correctly.
Correct.
Then comes the last part. That is the part that everybody wants to get to, and that's the actual certification for the credit.
Correct.
And that requires folks to submit to us a Design for Life tax credit application. And in that application, you're going to indicate how much you spent. You're going to provide documentation showing what you spent, who you spent it with, and providing the permit information for us to verify that the permit has been approved, inspected, and final. Right.
Correct.
And then we certify that. We look at all of that, we certify that, and we send it to the Department of Finance. I want to tell our listeners that DPS does not have visibility into your tax bill. We can't look at your tax bill, and we can't make edits to your tax bill. But we send that to Finance, who can apply those credits to your tax bill. Yes?
Correct. Yes.
What do you see what are some of the mistakes that folks make? What are some of the biggest things that folks do that you wish they wouldn't?
First, they do not initially indicate that they are applying for Design for Life features. That happens a lot.
Right.
So if their plan is to introduce accessibility features into their home and they want to take advantage of the program, they should not only check on the application that they're doing so, but clearly provide us with a description.
Okay.
Sometimes we have drawings that are not complete, or they don't have all the information, and that really happens a lot. So if we don't have some good documentation, it makes the process more difficult. So if you are planning to do this, you could provide us with drawings that have the information and anything that we need in order to verify that you are providing the features and the features meet the guidelines. Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at the plan. Okay, you want an accessible bathroom. We verify that the bathroom dimensions, location of fixtures, shower sizes comply with the minimum guidelines. And that's why the drawings are very important, because without it, we cannot verify it, and it will make the process a little more complicated.
One thing that I want our listeners to understand and to hear is that how much you spend does not necessarily influence what your tax credit is, because contractor prices can vary widely in the county depending on if you do it yourself, which you can do, or if you hire, the Cadillac of contractors to come in and do the work. So it's not really important how much you spend. There is a minimum that folks must spend of $500. But it doesn't, beyond that, it's really about putting in those features and making sure that those features are installed correctly.
Correct.
And each level has a tax credit maximum that's available to folks.
Correct.
So we get that question a lot. I'm not spending a whole lot, or I'm doing it myself.
Yeah. Does
that influence what my tax credit is? Your credit is not based on how much you spend. What else, Mariella? What else can you tell our listeners about the Design for Life program? What else do you want them to remember?
Well, I want them to remember that there is a a way to reach out in the beginning of the design process. We have pre-consultation meetings that are online and free of charge. And it's a great opportunity to talk to a reviewer and get information and see and present them your ideas, and we can help you determine if what you're proposing will meet the accessibility features.
That is a free service. The pre-design consultation service is available to folks. You can go to the DPS website and search for pre-design consultation. It'll give you a calendar, and you can select a date that is convenient to you to sit down with these folks and talk through what you're doing. That's an excellent service. And again, it is a service that's free of charge.
And we find it very useful. We get the projects going on the right foot. And then we have the homeowners seem to really take advantage of the program and the pre-design consultation, and we have seen great success with projects that had done this. And I will say, if you're planning to schedule a design consult, the earlier, the better.
The earlier in your process.
When you are in pre-design or thinking about your project and want to make sure what you imagine and what you ambition is possible, this is the best time to schedule a meeting. And you can schedule another meeting if it's required after you have that. So I will say that will be a very good tool for homeowners to make sure and get information on the project to make sure it meets the accessibility guidelines.
Sure. Customers can call MC311 or 240-777-0311 for more information. That's the Montgomery County Customer Service Center. They can contact them. They can connect them to DPS or connect them to any other agency in the county for more information. It's also important to note that homeowners can reach out to DPS via our website. They can reach out to DPS to individual employees in DPS. Our emails and our phone numbers are on our website if they have questions, and we're happy to answer those questions. Did I forget anything? Did we forget to talk about anything?
I think we've covered a lot of ground, and but I will say that we have also very comprehensive brochures that explain the process, and you can find them in our website or at our offices.
Yes, you can go to the Montgomery County website, montgomerycountymd.gov/DPS, to not only find general information about permits, but to also find information about the Design for Life program. There is a website, a web page on our website specifically dedicated to Design for Life. Thank you again, Mariella.
Thank you, Gail.
Listeners, we are here to help you, our customers, succeed. It's important to know when to get a permit. It's important to know that you need to get a permit. If you have questions about the permitting process, we are here to help you. Please contact MC311 240-777-0311. You also can come into our offices at 2425 Reedy Drive, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. We are here in person to help you. Remember, you don't need an appointment to get in-office help. Thank you again, Mariella, for joining us.
Thank you, Gail.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. And please check out the Montgomery County Department of Permitting Services website, montgomerycountymd.gov/DPS, to find information and resources to help you with your next project. Do you have an idea or question for our podcast? We want to hear from you. Please send that to dps.podcast@montgomerycountymd.gov. And if you found this podcast helpful, please share it with others and subscribe so you can get our latest episodes. Until next time, I'm Gail Lucas. Remember, DPS is your project partner. Thank you.